Hello and welcome to episode 55 of Pacific Horseplayers right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Meagher, joined by Ryan Anderson and Jackson Muniz. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Tuesday night here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. These guys.
Where are you?
Doesn't matter. Can I get through my thing?
Didn't even let him get through the intro.
Our weekly schedule, obviously, it's a little screwed up with it being the week of Thanksgiving, but typically you'll see us three schmucks on Tuesday night, Betting and Boozing Boys on Wednesday night, and Picks and Podies on Thursday night. And then we've got the addition of our new show, which is the leaderboard. I'll throw that up on the screen right now. Obviously, you can see I've been on that a couple of times. We'll see Jackson on that tomorrow night with the boss, Howard, and Matt. So we've got that new show coming up, a couple episodes so far, and I know Jackson's been doing a good job doing the Weekend Warriors, and he actually qualified last week. So good job, little bro. Got through that. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Of course, you've got our regular Power Picks tip sheet that you can subscribe to. Very affordable, very profitable. So go check that out. You can find out more about us and subscribe to those Power Picks at our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. Kyle and I just talked about the you guys are laughing about. What a start to the show. Kyle and I just did Betting and Boozing before the show, so if you didn't check out that, go ahead and do that if you have not already. We were talking about the races at Churchill on Friday, which I know is going to be a topic of conversation for you, Jackson, tomorrow night, and the Weekend Warriors show that we're going to be doing on Friday, I believe. So we've got a lot of people already in the chat, and it looks like they're not saying very nice things about my haircut. So I'm not going to go ahead and bring those up. What we are going to do is we've got a little special guest for you guys tonight. He was on the show about a year ago. He's a man that needs no introduction, so he's not going to get one. It's Shane O'Neill. Shane, how we doing, my man?
Good. Thank you for having me, Noah. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I know we're happy to have you. These guys are already giggly, so no giggle needed. We can go ahead and get into the races. As we've got 6 races to talk about. We've got a graded stake outside of the late pick 5 that we'll touch on briefly, and then of course we've got the late pick 5. So we'll go ahead and get into it. As you can see, the field for that race is on the screen, and I switched things around a little bit. I only got one monitor with me, obviously, because I'm not at my local setup in Lexington, Kentucky. But obviously, getting started. I'm not telling you, bro.
Didn't you see Matt's comment? We know where he is.
What did he say? Oh, yeah. I don't need to. Let's talk about the Seabiscuit. Grade 2, 1:30 local time. It is $200,000 purse. You can see the field up on the screen now. They're going a mile to 16th on the turf. The rails are at 12 feet for Saturday. And we've got a field of 9. Of course, Del Mar is uncooperative, and we do not have morning lines or numbers in the program. Whoa. So, guys, do your best to do so. Morning line favorite, you could go a number of ways. I'm going to suggest that it's probably the number 5 El Potente for Hector Barrios and Dan Blacker. But, again, this is a tough race. Not to kick things off, but tough race. It'll be in the middle of the sequence, or middle of the card, on Saturday. There are picks for race 5. I'm going 3-5-9. Jackson's going 8-3-9. Ryan's going 5-3-9, and Shane is going 3-8-9. So pretty similar, I'd say. Shane, we're going to start things off with you because you are our special guest, and I think your uncle would emphasize special as well, as I can't get my words out.
Nice.
But Shane, you're going to go with the number 3 Almendares, Phil D'Amato, and a little Hall of Famer called John Velasquez coming in to ride.
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, I think I left El Potente out here. I think he's the name of the game here. If he shows up and is as good as he was earlier this year, then he's going to be tough. But I'm going to gamble that he's going to need a race to get back to this competition. So, yeah, I did use Almendares on top. I just think him and Cabo Spirit are heads and tails above this group, besides El Potente, of course. I think he's going to fall into a good trip because I think El Potente and is going to be the speed with another one, Cabo Spirit, obviously. So I think it's them two kind of dueling, and I think Almendares and Johnny V are going to fall into a perfect trip. So, yeah, used him on top, and then Cabo Spirit, these guys are heads apart. Literally, the last 2 times of running against each other, they were heads apart. And I think Cabo Spirit's kind of up against it a little bit more this time just because he's got El Potente, who I think is going to be fresh off the layoff and is just going to gun it to the front.
Well, you have to assume that this horse, Jackson, who you've got on top, Cabo Spirit's going to be pretty close, maybe in front of him when they hit that first turn. And I feel like, if you were to toss a coin and argue who ran a better race last time trying to defeat Johannes, you can make a case that Cabo Spirit was just that.
Yeah, I view him very similarly as well. I'm kind of with Shane. I don't really have a preference between the two. I'm guessing Cabo Spirit is going to be a little bit better of a price, which is why I have him on top. We're obviously doing this before the morning line, so difficult to say. But I do think he's going to be in front against these. I'm not as sold as Shane that El Potente is going to be in front here. He could be. I won't be shocked. But I have a feeling Cabo Spirit will be in front going to the first turn. So I'm hoping that's the plan, at least for Rispoli. He hasn't run a bad race all year. He just shows up every single time. He's always right there. He's going to have a shot if he can make the front end. And I don't know how much speed's in the race. So I guess Sumter is the other possible speed horse. But even he's not that quick. So I think if Cabo Spirit can control this race, he's going to be awfully dangerous.
Yeah, and you got to love that jockey switch from Mike Smith to Umberto Rispoli, so who I don't think has actually been on him, and if he has, it's been quite a while. You're going to go with the aforementioned El Potente, Ryan, who I know these guys are a little bit bullish on. Me, not so much. I've got him in second. I guess the big question has kind of already been brought up by Shane. It just seems like, if he gets back to what he was, he's got a big chance, but we're not really sure if that's really going to happen.
Yeah, no, he's been off for a while, but he came back in the lure and ran fine. Got beat to the lead that day. I don't know that he needs the lead. Obviously, he kind of had a very nice trip last time we saw him in Thunder Road. And then versus the Allowance Company 2-back, he was just so much better than that group that no one else had a shot. Nice.
That'd be my favorite comment ever.
There we go, Shane O. So look, comes in off the bench. Dan Blacker is not exactly firing on all cylinders right now, but this is a horse that has just been the picture of consistency. So I want to take this one. Shane mentioned he might be fresh off the layoff. I certainly think so. And Cabo Spirit's not fast. Like he gets to the lead, but it's not like he blazes forward. So I think El Potente can fire from the inside and get a clear lead going around there.
What do you guys think he's going to go off at? Because he's going to be bet off of that 104 buyer, and that thing is just such an outlier on the page, and I just don't trust him. Like he's got to do it again. He's got to do it off the bench. This is not the easiest spot.
It's not. I wouldn't take under 8 to 5.
So you would take
maybe.
Okay. So you take sub 2 to 1 though.
Yeah,
I take 2 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane, what'd you take?
I think Almendaris will be the favorite.
I can see that.
Okay.
I think so.
I don't think it's impossible. Last horse that we've got to touch on, Shane, we'll go back to you to wrap things up in this race. Shane's getting a lot of love in the chat. I love it. Stay hot. Back-to-back 19 buyers so far. I guess the question with him, Shane, is maybe this is a little too short for him, but again, you've got some other miles in the race that maybe the extra 16th is a little bit of a red flag for them, but maybe could be a green flag for him.
Yeah, I think honestly the reason they stretched this horse out to longer is just because he was a cut below this group. Because generally speaking, I think the marathon races on the grass here are generally a bit weaker. I'm not even going to look at what's going on in the chat, but yeah, I do think he can get a piece of this. In the Eddie Reed, he was. Which Formidable Man won, who was such a nice racehorse. He was just beat. He was length and 3/4 behind Cabo Spirit that day with So, I think there's a couple of these, but I do think he can pick up the pieces. And I'm fading El Potente, so that's kind of how I had to use somebody third.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think that's logical thinking. We'll go ahead and move on to race 7, and let me get race 7 up on the screen. Sorry for the delay. Race 7 is another stakes race, Jimmy Durante. It's a grade 3, $100,000 purse. We've got 2-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. And, of course, we always see some invaders this year. I know there's been some talk about some FedEx planes getting shut down or whatever. We'll talk about that a little bit later because I think there is a horse that might be affected by that and might no longer be running on Saturday. But in terms of this race, field of 11, and you've got an invader in the number 4 just aloof for Barrios and Chad Brown. He's always a force to be reckoned with in these types of races that we see. And then you've got some other 2-year-old fillies that I think have a big shot. So let's see who we are going with in race 7. This does kick off the late pick 5. I'm going 194. Jackson's going 9-6-11. Ryan's going 5-9-4, and Shane's going 9-5-1. Let's go to Jackson because he's going with a horse that we all know way too familiarly. Finally got the win last time. Really wasn't that long ago. So obviously, if Doug's going to point her to this spot, seems like she's doing all right, and I think she's got a big shot in here, Jackson. And he's muted.
Yep.
Damn, first time.
That's not the first time.
Yeah, first time tonight is what I meant.
Yeah, we're only 11 minutes and 30 seconds in, but go ahead.
Whatever. I like her in this spot. I think she's the most trustworthy of the West Coast-based horses, at least. I'm not huge on the Chad, who we're going to talk about, as well as the other East Coast invaders. So I don't anticipate her being favored in this spot. And she's run well in all of her starts. You know, the three-back race in the stake race at Del Mar, she made the first move. She had to go wide in the final turn, got the jump, and then she got a little tired late. I think the two-back race, there was some kind of issue. She didn't run very well. But she ran really well last time. And I think, you know, people say, oh, she had things the wrong way on the front end, which, you know, they're right. But she also kicked away from that field. It wasn't like she got this easy lead and was all out to win. She crushed those. It wasn't even close. And the number came back really strong. She doesn't need the lead to run well. She's going to be able to work out a trip from that outside post. And I just think she's very trustworthy in the spot where I don't trust a lot of others to take the jump forward that they need to.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I remember this was a horse way back on August 2nd. Shane, this was a horse that I texted you about because I had seen some good things in the mornings. I wanted to get your opinion, and it seemed like you guys always thought that this was going to be better for her, suited going a little bit longer. And obviously this is probably a race that you guys had on the schedule. I'm going to throw it to you to talk about her and the one, because I know Doug trains both, but just give us your thoughts on the chances of either of those two.
Yeah, no, she's definitely getting better and better. Two back, she spiked a temp, I think the night after the race or the morning after. So she was definitely sick for that race on October 3rd. She was, healthy when we ran her, but just came back sick. So I would just completely draw a line through that. And then last out, obviously, I got to the front, didn't look back. I will say the group last time, in my opinion, was a little softer than what she had faced previously in her career. But so I think the number's a little bit inflated there. But she's doing really good. She came out of the race in really good shape right after I asked Doug if we're going to wait for Santa Anita so we don't have to run against Latte Love, the one. And he said, no, let's just run them both. They're both doing really well. So, yeah, Latte Love, she was another one that has always trained really, really well. So it was kind of a head scratcher first time out. Obviously ran against nice fillies first time out, but kind of a head scratcher that she really just threw in the towel so quickly. And then obviously was really impressive October 3rd at Santa Anita. Again, not sure how good that group was. Tis Grace, I think, is still a maiden. She's run second or third a couple times. But yeah, Mirko Demura is doing so well that we've always thought a little bit more of Latte Love than Hypergamy, but they're both sitting on a big race, I think.
No, I'd like that you've got that to say because I like them both, but I'm really interested in the one, and I'm interested to see what kind of price we get on her. I thought her win last time in that mile race at Santa Anita was pretty good. I know she was 11-1 that day, but like you said, I think it's encouraging that you guys had seen some good stuff from her in the mornings before that. And you throw her into a race like this, I think it's just kind of natural progression and signals to me that things are going the right way for her. She's going to get an inside trip, which I do like. I have to imagine the one will probably send. Send with the one. Hypergamy will sit with the outside post. Shane's, all systems go on the front end for Mirko Demura, who you mentioned, Shane, is riding about as good as anybody on that turf course over at Del Mar. So I like her. Got her on top. We talked about the 9, who I think we've all got on somewhere in the mix. So we could see some good things from the Doug O'Neill barn in this race. Brian, we'll go to you because you've got a horse that I think is probably going to be a pretty big price in here. La Vieille Lumiere. I think I've got that right for Kimura and Michael McCarthy. She's been on the turf before. Obviously, she's been maybe a bit disappointing if you go back to that juvenile fillies turf. But if you want to, knock her on who she's been facing, I'm not really sure you can.
Yeah, no doubt. She's faced the best horses. Obviously, the biggest concern is that the one race going this distance on this surface was her worst race by far. But I'm just going to go ahead and count that as that was just kind of a used as a tightener going into the oak leaf. Maybe they had always envisioned getting back to dirt. I'll just come up with some excuse in my head because I do think if she takes this form that she has shown in 4 of her 5 races, goes onto the turf. She's just faced so much better than this. I think there's enough pace in here to set things up, and I think Kimura can get a good spot early. City of Lights do great routing on turf, and then the bottom side breeding out certainly has some turf in there as well. So, yeah, I want to take this one. I have no idea what the price I'm going to get on La Vie Lumiere is going to be. I would hope it's not below 3-1. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was going to be – I thought you had a chance to get double digits. I don't know what the other two think.
I thought La Vie Lumiere would be favorite, so it shows how little I know.
Double digits. I was going to can we get fixed odds on that?
That is why I am not a bookie. I'll tell you that. Just aloof. I think we can't move on to the next race without talking about her. Obviously, she's the invader from up north. Ran on October 16th. I thought the win was just fine last time. I'm gonna throw it to you, Jackson, because it seems like you've got reservations about her. It looks like Shane does a little bit, and Ryan and I have her in third. So obviously, we don't think she's really a super likely winner of this race, but I'll let you talk about what you think about her.
I'm not sure. I think she'll be favored here. Chad Brown brings a horse to this race, it seems like, every year, and they always get bet, regardless of whether they should be favored or not. And it's just going to take money. It's Chad Brown and a Del Mar Turf Stakes. So the number came back okay. I'm not sure how good the field was that day. Can she win this thing? Of course. I'm not going to be surprised if she does. I just think she's going to be too short of a price in this spot, and I think there are others that are going to be much more attractive on the win end.
I think the one thing that has me kind of dismissing her a little bit is it took her a while to get going in that maiden race. Now, maybe that was just her being a little green first time out, but typically that doesn't suit very well to this Del Mar configuration. Seems like you got to be pretty push button. Maybe Hector just works out a phenomenal trip, a little inside outside as we'd like to see from Hector. What'd you call it? The Hector hypotenuse, where he just saves ground.
That was crazy, man.
And ends up.
There was a horse on Sunday by Ryan's favorite sire of all time, Practical Joke.
It was your horse. I'm a Joker, Shane.
Yeah. Oh, is that their horse?
Yeah.
So I said, he was like, "Oh, horse can't go 11 furlongs." I'm like, it's okay. Hector's riding, so he only has to run 7 furlongs because he saves so much ground on the rail, and that's exactly what he did. But he only saved 8 furlongs instead of 7, so it didn't work out. It was close. Yeah. Like, he had that effect.
Racing math presented by Pacific Horseplayers. We'd love to see that. We'll move on to the next race. Next race starts the late pick 4 as I get that up on the screen here shortly. There it is. Race 8, maiden special weight. You've got 2-year-old colts and geldings, and you've got mostly cowbreds, which I think the condition is actually cowbreds, but there is one Kentucky bred horse, which I'll have to look into more of that to see why this horse is eligible for the condition.
California Sire.
California Sire, gotcha. Thank you, Ryan. But you guys' guess is as good as mine as to who's going to be the favorite in this race. Field of 8 could be the first-time starter, and the one that Ryan mentioned, Monsieur Big for Velasquez and Yakteen. Could see him going favorite and market signal going his way. There are picks up on the screen. I'm going 2-4-7. Jackson's going 4-7-6. Ryan's going 7-8-2, and Shane is going 8-7-6. I think who's the only one that hasn't gone first? Is it Jackson? Yeah, I think you're the one that has.
Last time. I'll go first again.
No, I'll throw it to Ryan because he hasn't gone first yet. Got to be equal, Got to show equality. Race 7 or horse number 7, Joker Went Wild, Calbred, Diego Herrera, and Brian Corno, who I thought ran a decent third last time out, Ryan.
Yeah, ran a very decent third last time. And, the second-time starter, you can always take a big step up. I thought got a lot out of the debut. Brian Corner, $2.25 ROI. He's 11 for 52 with second-time starting maiden special weights in the Cowbred ranks. I only throw in the state breds because it's first the open company out here. You run into Baffert monsters, so I didn't want to include that. This is a state bred race. Obviously, I gotta give a shout-out to my my top sire. Yo. There we go. Happy we got that out of the way. Practical Joke, obviously top side. He's really precocious with his 2-year-olds, especially early on in the career. So I want to take that one second time up. I think Moonshine is probably going to be the favorite in here, I would imagine. So I'm hoping to get maybe a square price on Joker Went Wild.
I like it, and I've got him in third for similar reasons. It looks like Shane's got him in second. Jackson's got him in second, so obviously we think he's got a big shot. Shane, let's go to you to the outside, who Ryan thinks could be the favorite, and that's the first time gelding and Moonshiner, who we haven't seen since August. Definitely the most experienced in the field. What do you like most about this new gelding?
Yeah, a couple of things. I like when you give a 2-year-old a little break, especially if you think that they're a decent horse. And to me, this horse is better than the buyers suggest. Losing to Max Chow, I think that's the horse name, right? Max Chow.
Yeah.
After going 21-1, 45 flat, Moonshiner did all the dirty work that day, and obviously quit badly down the lane. But who wouldn't going 21-1? Has some races back it up too. Lost to Thirsty Rebel, who I think our horse ran 4th in a stake about a month ago. So he's been running against decent horses. I like when you give a 2-year-old a break, you geld them, you let them take their time, get back into things, and mature a little bit. So I think he's got so much of an edge over the first-time starters in here. And I like Kimura. I like drawing the outside with experience, so the horse can kind of figure out where he wants to slot in. And yeah, I think I hope he's not the favorite. I was thinking I'd get like 4 or 5 to 1, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see it. I think that maybe could take some money. I do think that having speed on the outside is definitely a plus, and with the experience that he's got, I think Kimura's he's either going to be able to go to the lead, or if someone's hell-bent on getting the lead, he can just sit right off of him and stalk on the outside. So I think either way, he's going to be set up for a big race. Jackson, you're saying screw it. These horses that have experience, I don't want any of them. You're going with the 4, Monsieur Big, Colt by Mr. Big, Malibu Moon Mare. I guess you should probably pay attention if Johnny V is going to hop on a first-time starter for Timmy Actine.
Yeah, I certainly found that to be interesting too. That definitely doesn't hurt the chances. I want to see this horse taking money, early money in the betting. I watched a couple of his workouts, and he's been working in company with a filly called Essential Lady, who didn't do a whole lot of running on debut, but showed a ton of speed, dueled with the horse called Umbrail, who's in the stakes race earlier on the card. Very, very fast filly. And he's been out breaking her like every single time, breaking really well. And then the rider will just take back, and he'll do whatever they ask, and he'll just run in hand and do his thing. He looks like he's a horse that is very quick, but has a lot of ability as well. So I like what I've seen from him in the mornings. Johnny B riding is certainly a sign of confidence I don't think he's ever ridden for Actine, or very sparingly at least. So again, this is a horse, you want to see this horse taking money if you're a fan of this horse.
Yeah, I think so. Brian?
Sorry, Jackson. I think the reason we get Johnny V is George Krikorian, and he has a lot of horses for Mott on the East Coast that Johnny V rides. I did some digging because I thought the same thing, and yeah,
cool.
His workouts do look good though.
Look great.
I do like the horse.
Definitely interesting that he rides. Oh, for sure. I've got Low Talks on top. Blinkers off for his second start. He was 5-2 in that debut, which it feels like with these Ryan Hansen runners, and they take money. You see some ability in the mornings. Freysu was on that day, and boy, it just didn't look like anything went well for him. He was climbing. He just didn't look very comfortable. Now, it's hard to back a runner after they lose by 19.5, but the fact that he came back with a 47 flat work, 4th out of 27, then a maintenance work last time, I think they're going to, figure things out with him, and second time's probably when you want him, just because, first out, he didn't run all that well, so might get dismissed a little bit. Take the blinkers off. Maybe that helps things out. Inside post with a little bit of speed, I think is going to work out well for him. And even Escobedo, I don't see that as too much of a negative, even though Freysu was on last time, just because Escobedo is kind of the guy that Hansen goes to nowadays, especially for his 2-year-olds and getting some speed into him. So I'm going to take a chance with Low Talks. I think you get an okay price, maybe 5 or 6 to 1 in that direction. And I see, Ryan, you've got him in third, so I do appreciate that. Anyone else want to talk about anybody in this race?
I think at some point the 4 of us have to make morning lines and not tell each other till the show, because we all have such vastly different opinions on these. I think you're going to get like 12 to 1 on Low Talks.
You could.
I think I hope so. I mean, I think certainly double digits, but I just think it's so funny. I've listened to all of us, our projected odds, and I think we all need to make morning lines and not tell each other.
Well, he could be 12 to 1 morning line, but he was 5-2 last time, and it looks like he's working well. So it'd be hard for me to believe that he's double digits second time out after he got that play first time, but you definitely could be right.
That's very true.
Are you worried that he climbed so badly first time out, and now he has the rail again, or inside post again?
Well, he's the second post, so he doesn't have the rail.
It's the exact same post last time.
Yeah, but
and if he's not like once they took him outside, he started running. I mean, he just did.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was bad, but hey, I might get the 12 to 1 that Ryan suggests, so I think that'd be worth it, wouldn't it?
Gotta love those Racomas second time starters too.
Yeah, well, that's the direction I'm going. Ken Pittman says that Hansen has been cooled all meet, so this horse probably has no chance because
he just won. with Escobedo on a maiden on Sunday.
Well, that's
on
right,
Monday.
in the first race because you had it on
Yeah,
South.
Euchre. I sure did.
Oh,
Hey,
he
I
got
I think that was the only top pick winner I had yesterday. Nailed it though.
Jackson had the 7 who lost by what? Ahead? Less than a head?
I got second every single race yesterday. It sucked. It was awful.
Hopefully that doesn't happen on Saturday as we move to race 9. Race 9 is probably the feature on the card. It's a Grade 1 Hollywood Derby. It is up on the screen now. $300,000 purse. We've got 3-year-old. Is this 3-year-old only? I think this is 3-year-old. Yeah, 3-year-olds only. Mile and 8th on the turf, like I said. We've got a field of 9. Morning line favorite has to be the number 3 test score for Juan Hernandez and Graham Motion. Second choice, you can go a number of different ways. Let's see who we are going with in this race. And we're all chalking out. I'm going 3-4-2. Jackson's going 3-4-9. Ryan's going 3-2-1. And Shane's going 3-8-1. So interestingly enough, actually, Jackson and I have the same horse in second. But got some different horses in second and third, I think, that we can talk about. I think we probably should start the conversation with the favorite just because, number 1, he is the favorite. And number 2, we all have him on top. So, Shane, I'll go to you to do just that. Test score winner last time in the Twilight Derby, as you see up on the screen now. Probably supposed to win that race, but he did it well. And just, frankly, some of the horses that he had run against over the summer just probably would crush this field, no?
Yeah, exactly right. Like World Beater. I mean, he beat World Beater earlier this year, and then Zulu Kingdom. He got beat a length and a quarter by Zulu Kingdom, right? So he's running against the best 3-year-old turf horses in the country. This is a big time single. You have to single, in my opinion. If you or you leave out. I mean, those are your two options: single or leave out. Because he's going to be even money or under, right? I mean, 3 to 5. It's going to be low.
Pretty low. I should probably give up on the morning line thing.
I'd say 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any info? Do you guys have any more info on Noble Confessor and the whole FedEx Plains thing?
He's not coming.
He's not coming.
I don't think so. I can't imagine that they're going to go to a plan B to get him out here. They'll probably just go to Gulfstream.
Yeah, they could. Well, they're just going to van him. I guess they just van him down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a little upsetting because he was probably one of the more likely upsetters, and now that that's the case, it seems like test score is probably going to be pretty tough in here. I guess we don't really need to talk about him too much. Let's talk about some of the horses that we've got in the mix in terms of underneath. Jackson, you and I have the 4. I never get this horse's name. Is it Salamis? I don't know.
Last time you guys said it was Salami, so let's just stick with that.
Yeah, well, we got Salami in second. I guess if someone were to ask me who the most likely upsetter was, I'd probably go with him just because he was a little up against it last time at Keeneland. Still got some upside too. So, but at the same time, it's Chad Brown, so he's probably going to be second choice.
Yeah, it feels like one of those races where the test score is going to be 4 to 5, and Salamis is probably going to be 9 to 5, 2 to 1. I mean, these two just tower over the rest on paper. They're supposed to be one of them. He ran well last time at Keeneland. He had a tough post. He was all, if I remember correctly, he was like going nuts in the gate. Like they took him forever to break open. He ran fine. He finished right behind Jocoso, came back and ran really well on Saturday. So good lines there. The race two back, I don't know what to do with in the Gio Ponte because the number came back really strong. That field just wasn't that good though. I mean, Capitol Hill wouldn't be a big contender in this spot. I know he won the race by length, but I don't know. I think test score is just way better than these. And I texted you guys earlier. I think test score can run in the 4 or 5 path the whole way around there and still beat them. So I'm on test score in this spot.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll go to you, Ryan. Friendly Confines I've got in third. You've got in second. We're the only two that actually have this horse in the mix. So I guess with Noble Confessor being out, probably a chance that Hector, goes to the front end and takes his chances that way, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think that that's the only way that test score gets beaten in this spot with Noble Confessor not making the ship. I do think Salamis has an outside look at it, but I'm with Jackson. I didn't love the Gio Ponte as a race, but she did have a little bit of an unfortunate trip last time out. But yeah, Friendly Confines, best way to win this is Hector goes to the front and stretches them out as much as they can and maybe have enough left in the tank to get home.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next race, but I'll mention some of the other horses that we've got in the mix. Jackson, I believe this is the horse that you've got in third. Tempest Volot, who just beat Friendly Confines last time in the Let It Ride. And then the other two guys, Ryan and Shane, you've got the one Maz, who's a little interesting, coming from off the pace for Ricky Gonzalez, Michael McCarthy, and the partners over at Eclipse. So just some other horses that I think maybe we could see fill in the exactas and trifectas in the Hollywood Derby. So we'll go ahead and move on to the 10th race, which I think we go back to the dirt for this affair. Race 10 is on the main track. It is allowance optional, 50,000. It is up on the screen now, the Equibase, and $61,000 purse, 7 furlongs on the main track, like I said. And again, we do not have the morning lines. So this could be a number of different ways. I think field of 11 should be pretty competitive.
Crazy.
What?
I'm crazy.
One horse is going to be 6 to 5 in here.
Is that going to be the number 10 Comedy Town?
No.
It's not?
Oh, this guy's doing a bit.
Oh, you're right.
This guy's on a bit.
You're right. It is the number 7 Maddocket Road coming off of the H. Allen Jerkins. Let's see who we are going with in this race.
I hope he's doing a bit.
I'm going 10-7-5. Jackson's going 7-5-10. Ryan's going 10-7-8. And Shane's doing 10-9-11. Jackson, you're the only one that's got him. So I feel like I got to go back to you. Maddocket Road, like I said, coming off of the Jerkins. Based on the numbers, he's probably the horse to beat. But we've seen time and time again that some of these horses have come back and not run to their standards.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the one knock on him would be that the last race has been a little iffy on the runbacks. It was still a way better field than he's facing here, and it's not like he got a great trip in that spot either. So he's just supposed to win. And I bet him his last couple starts, and he's run well. Again against way better horses. There's not a lot of speed in this field. He's going to get a good trip for the first time. LASIK's going on. He's really supposed to win if he shows up with his best effort. I kind of agree with what Howard's saying though in the comments. The work tab is a little unbaffer like I will say. So that's something to keep an eye on. He had to work at Los Al, then he had to work at the Tapita, and then just the one fast work. A little unconventional for a horse of his caliber, but on the page he's supposed to beat these.
And one of the works, actually, the one that he came back was at Del Mar in September, and then didn't wait until October 30th at Los Al, and then the 2 at Santa Anita, like you mentioned, one of them being on that Tapita track that they just put in either a year or two ago. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. If he's a low price, I'd be a little dubious to bet him on top, and that's why I partially got the number 10 along with the hashtag that I like to throw around. But we'll go to the 10, who us other 3 have on top. Comedy Town, previously trained by Safi Joseph Jr. As you can see, this 7-year-old now has been switched over to Jeff Mullins, and we've already seen him once, Shane, at Del Mar, second last time to Modus Bestia. With the way that track was playing, there was no chance that he was getting to him that day. So I think you're going to see a little more fair of a main track than we did last time, and I think obviously that's going to help him out quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that was a tougher group that he faced last time than he's facing today. He's got plenty of races to run back to from when he was, 6-year-old and kind of late 5. I mean, he was a really nice horse as a late 5-year-old, right? So talking a long time ago, but still, he's got races to run back to. Jeff Mullins can move a horse up. I mean, Jeff has been training really well this year. You got Hector Barrios, who knows the course well. So yeah, this is all systems go for me. And for me, it was just a matter of find someone to beat Maddocket Road, who I agree with Howard, and like you guys have been saying, the work tab is really concerning to me. I don't know what's going on with that. So to me, it was just find the best horse in the race besides Maddocket Road, and to me, Comedy Town would be even money in here if it weren't for Baffert.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Ryan, obviously you think similarly. So you got anything that we haven't mentioned or anything else that's creative about this, what seems to be like a little bit of a 2-horse race, although Shane doesn't have the 7 anywhere, which I respect, to be honest. But what do you think about these 2 in general?
Yeah, I'm so against Maddocket Road. I won't probably use him. I got to use Comedy Town because I think he's the horse that has also faced really good horses. Faced Baby Yoda 3-back. Modus Bestia is going to be a very good horse. I assume she'll show up opening day at Santa Anita off that win in the Breeders' Cup undercard. But I hate this move for Baffert when he takes these graded stakes horses and gives them LASIKs for the first time in an optional claim. I don't like it. He has 1 maiden win. He's 0 for 6 with horses that are not in the maiden ranks on dirt in this type of scenario. So I think Maddocket Road stinks in here. He has 1 win. That was his maiden win. I think Matt Miller also mentioned that. in the chat. So no, I'll take Comedy Town and I'll keep things moving.
Jackson, you're going to finish us off with the number 5 Pseudo, who's done a little bit of dirt and turf. I know I bet him several times and been a little bit frustrated with some of his results, but you know what? Maybe the break is what he needed.
Yeah, maybe. I do think he's going to be better getting back to a sprint. I thought his races earlier this year were all pretty good. He's going up against the likes of Bart Holdy, who at that time got really good, and so did Positivity. Both those horses were really good earlier this year in sprinting, and he didn't have great trips in those races either. So he came back this summer, Dumar, tried to go long, lost to Pridman, Lyle Song. Those are both very nice horses. So I think if he is going to get – man, I cannot talk today. Long day. I think if he works out a trip from just off the pace, he's going to have a shot in here. The problem is he's another horse that likes to settle for a lot of slices. He's 1 for 13, so it would all be price dependent for him in this spot.
Definitely a Mr. Minor award. I do agree with that. We will move on to the last race on the card. Ryan, looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, does anyone have any thoughts on the number 1 Speedy Wilson? I know it's a Calbred, but he's getting better, and it's not like he's pretty underexposed compared to a lot of these in here.
Actually, before I talk about that, I didn't really look at him all that carefully. But Ryan, didn't you have like a angle or question that you had for Jackson? Did we already?
I did, but I missed it. It was the first race, and I got it confused with a race later. But it's not.
Does it make sense to ask it now?
No, it doesn't make sense. Well, because you have to be looking at the horse. It was. It was Jackson's double buyer and the improve angle. Stay Hot has done that 3 consecutive times where he's paired up the buyer and then improved, and then paired up those buyers and then improved again. So I wanted to see if that was in play for Jackson.
I'm sure it is.
It's in play. I picked him third-ish. He's a weird horse.
He's a very strange horse.
He was just so pace compromised at the 3-year-old, like race after race after race, and he just never got the setup. And then this year he's been losing to Gold Phoenix. Like, okay, second to Gold Phoenix. Like, there's just excuse after excuse after excuse. And at some point you got to break through. He just hasn't been able to do it yet. So I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no astronomer, right?
I'm so glad he didn't pick that horse.
Howard says that Speedy Wilson is not impossible, Ryan. So there you go. Probably puts him in the winner's circle. Last race that we're going to talk about and ends the day is race 11. Another allowance optional claimer for $50,000. This time it is on the grass, $61,000 purse, and we've got a field of 12 with 2 morning line I can't talk either. It's contagious. To a main body of 12, 13 and 14 are AEs. I thought this was quite a difficult race to end things off, and this is not a bit this time. I do think this is a difficult race to end things. We're actually pretty similar. I'm going 4-12-7. Jackson's going 4-13-1. Ryan's going 11-5-9, and Shane is going 4-12-11. Shane, I'm going to have you have the last laugh in terms of going first with the number 4 Lyle, the Crocodile, 3-year-old facing older Kimura and D'Amato, who I thought ran a bang-up race last time. What did you think about him?
Yeah, I totally agree. The last time out was very impressive to me. I think his race in the Oceanside was very good, considering that I don't recall there being a ton of closers in the Oceanside. But yeah, to me, this race, the older horses, there's not that much talent there. Like, the older horses look like a lot of mid-level claimers. So to me, I was looking for kind of a fresh face who was trying something different. And, it was, so I think I picked 2 of the 3-year-olds on top. I have the 11th third, but yeah. So to me, Lila Crocodile was just doing something different. I think that I like Tempest a lot. So, that kind of is going to influence me a little bit. If that horse runs no good, I might have to do a change of plans. And also with you guys picking him on top, I thought I was going to get 6-1 or something, but looks like he might be a favorite. So that might change my opinion too.
See ya.
No, I'm saying he's going to be 2-1.
I thought that meant you were leaving. Well, good, because I was going to throw it to you. I have a question for you. Is it a positive or a negative that he doesn't show up in the same race as the horses that beat him last time?
I think it's fine. I think it's more they're trying to get away from the horses that are shipping from the East Coast than the West Coast. Like, I don't think if this was a West Coast race only, they'd be fine running back in there. But the fact that you are getting Test Score and the Chad horse, I think they'd probably prefer this spot. As you go through this field, and Shane kind of brought this up, like, there's just not a lot good form to go on. I mean, this just isn't a very strong group. I think everyone's going to try to gravitate towards this horse who, closed into a merry-go-round race last time in a stake race. He's lightly raced. He'll be somewhat forward. Just seems very, very logical in a race where not a lot inspires.
Yeah, and definitely not from the older horses. Looks like Ryan's also going with the 3-year-old that's coming out of the same race, actually. And that is the connection of Mirko de Muro and Jonathan Thomas on the number 11, hiding in Honduras. Obviously, Ryan, we know Jonathan Thomas can be very deadly in these races here at Del Mar, and another one that's lightly raced, and maybe people will gravitate toward him.
Yeah, this one's very underexposed. Broke the maiden at Presque Isle Downs and then shipped out to Del Mar. Tries the turf going long, runs very, very well for that being his second start of his career. Gets a jockey upgrade at Del Mar to Mirko de Muro, who, as we've talked about, is riding very well with a high level of confidence. I don't agree with the second part of the run line last time. I didn't really think he was pinballed all that much. He was definitely keen and behind horses, but I don't know. It seemed like he was still a little bit green. So third-time starter. He stayed out on the West Coast to stay in training. I'm going to single this horse to end the sequence. I don't hate Lyle the Crocodile, but I feel like I've seen enough of him out here and hiding in Honduras. I like this horse. Gets Lasix back too. I don't know what that did on debut or not, but I don't hate it.
I like it. Shane, Hot Rocket is one that you get a chance to talk about. And I guess we'll let Jackson talk about a horse that's not even in the race. But Shane, convince us on why the 12 is finally going to get it done this time.
Yeah, I thought he was the best of the older horses. Just looking back at, for example, 2 back to Spycatcher. I think Spycatcher is a nice horse. I have that race as coming back as a high-quality race. Last time, wanted no part of the sprinting, so now it gets back to a route today. And on August 17th, I was first off a layoff going long, right? So I kind of wish those races were flipped. I wish he had a sprint into a route. So I kind of like him today on kind of a different type of prep races going into this race. And Umberto keeps them out, which is interesting to me. So I could see this horse being a little sneaky, like 6-1 shot that kind of doesn't take too much action. But I love the connections. And I think he's the best of the older horses in here for sure.
Jackson, 13, Ray Ray. Your thoughts?
I don't know. I need someone in second. I think the 4 crushes these. I really do. If the 13 runs back to the races from earlier this year, like he could be competitive, but he does have to deal with the tough post and the layoff as well.
Dollar bet?
What?
On what?
4 versus 11. Hiding in Honduras versus Lyle.
Yeah.
There we go.
You want to do more than $1? You want to do 10?
Yeah, let's do 10.
Oh.
You want to do 20?
No, we'll do 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of these days I've gotten third. Matt put a comment that this is some kind of hunch play. Have you guys seen? Apparently, there's a movie or show called Honeymooners. Because
I've seen that bit, but I have not seen the full show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, and Jackson hasn't seen The Matrix. So there we go. And
I also haven't seen it.
Right.
Matt is also talking about bipping on the highway. So I think we can go ahead and close it out.
What happened to this guy last time? He had no excuse. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was really bad. But his race 2 back, I thought was pretty good. No,
Yeah, it was.
gets back to that. I think he's got a big shot. Obviously, I like the 4 like you do. So I'm gonna probably maybe not single the 4 on some stuff. But apparently, it is a show. Howard says best sitcom of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Well, we definitely weren't around that time. So
I'm not sure if my parents were around during that time either. I don't think so.
Yeah, I know that's going to be something that we'll have to look up after the show. Apologize, we do not have best bets because there were 4 of us and there were 6 races that we talked about. But we actually flew through this pretty quickly, so I'm not actually going to have a banner for you guys, but we'll do a little roundtable, and I'll start it with you, Shane. Is there a horse that you're particularly interested in on betting on Saturday?
Let me just scroll through here.
I hope he just left it at That would have been great.
Almendaris. In the races we went over, Almendaris would be my top pick. I think I've liked this horse for a while, so that'd be my top pick. And then the other one, I hope is going to be a price would be that horse in the last race, that older horse, the 12 Hot Rocket.
I like it. Jackson, we'll go to you. We'll do a little, counterclockwise. Your best bet or horse that you're a little interested in on Saturday? And he's muted again for the second time. You get that for saying that.
I'm really annoyed I didn't win that contest yesterday because I think Saturday's Del Mar contest is very straightforward. I would have just shoved on test score, and I would have shoved on the 4 in the last race, and I would have gotten probably 6 or 7 to 1 on that, and probably would be good enough for a BCBCC. So that's what I would do. I would just shove on them both, and they're going to win.
This guy's more immature than I am. Ryan, you'll finish us off with a horse that you're interested in on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm playing the late pick 3 cold. I'll go test score into Comedy Town into Hiding in Honduras, and that'll be my my main bet in there.
I like it. Appreciate you guys joining us during Thanksgiving week once again. Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Yeah, yeah. What? Just started the outro.
I'm gonna go with Dougie Fresh's horse, Latte Love, the 1 in the Jimmy Durante. I do think she's got a big shot. Hopefully, she doesn't need the lead. And I know Shane might be even happier about that than I am if that were the case. She was able to get the job done on Saturday. But for Ryan, Jackson, our good buddy Shane, this has been Noah on episode 55 of Pacific Horseplayers, covering the Del Mar Turf Festival and the late pick 5 on Saturday. And until next time, PHP out.